Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So after doing that top rated rackets for college players, somebody requested that I do a top rated rackets for the over 65 crowd, players over 65. Well, here you go. All right, so for you 65 competitive people who aren't quite ready to go into those real game improvement rackets, I suggest that you use one of these two. Pure Drive 107 or the Ultra 108. So why these two? Well, the Pure Drive 107 is still a semi player stick. You still have to be pretty good at age 65 to play with this racket. So gotta still have a good serve, still have good groundies, still have great volleys. Like, everything is still intact. You're in great shape. You don't need to go into the bigger rackets yet. These are easily more control than those. So if you still have your game intact, except maybe slower by a bit, then this Pure Drive will definitely work for you. I mean, it's on the lighter side at, like 10.1 ounces, 9.9 ounces, whatever it is, about 10 ounces unstrung. So about 10 and a half strung. So, and it's fairly head heavy, easy to maneuver. You'll get good pop out of it if you generate your own power. So, easy for you if you're still in good shape and condition. If you want a little more power and a little more help, and I'm really emphasizing little here, this Ultra 108 would give you that little more punch than this one. Little thicker in the beam, slightly bigger in the head, slightly lighter. So it's 9.5 ounces before strings. So it's about 10 ounce racket with the strings. And both of these are about a 1/4 inch longer. So hey, for those of you who want a little extra reach, these will provide that for you. So for you 65 and still in great shape, these are the ones I recommend. Now, for those of you who play more socially, but still are competitive, but can't get around so much anymore and are relying on the rackets to help you a little more, I'm gonna be talking about these now, and this is my top 4. Okay, so for those of you who basically are used to like a TIS 6, a TIS 7, a TIS 5, right? You get this one. I love this one. This is going to be your racket. This is my racket. Not just kidding, but this is a good overall racket for you. If you play social doubles, if you play USTA, if you play league, try this racket. I bet you'll love it. There is an Instinct version of this coming out. There will be no difference in the Instinct version. They will just call it an Instinct and make it blue. So for all you guys who don't like this color, there's an Instinct Power coming, identical to this racket except for the color. Okay, guys? I know some of you don't like this yellow, even though I like it. But either this or the Instinct Power that's coming out. The current one doesn't have the spiral fibers like this one does. And that gives you more feel and a little more stiffness, soft power that they call it. But the spiral fibers are doing a lot for the new head rackets that I see now. So great racket. Now, for all you guys who always say, my elbow hurts, my elbow hurts. Well, these 3 that are coming up are meant for you. I'm going to start with the Dunlop. Look at the shape of that racket. Right? Little bar here for stability. That's where the string goes all the way down. So the one characteristic about the 4 rackets, including this one, is the long mains. As you can see, they're really long. Long mains actually equal more power. The longer it is, the more power you're gonna get, which means the more sling you get from the strings. So everybody says, oh, imagine a trampoline, right? If the trampoline's bigger, you're gonna jump higher. Well, it's kind of the same concept here. With the longer mains, gives you more power. Actually, it actually helps a lot. It actually helps your elbow too. If you string it loose enough, all you really have to do is come forward with some forward momentum and it slings it out of there. And that's the same characteristic with these four that I'm going to be talking about. So why this one? Why this one? Well, it's light and powerful. It's light and powerful. It plays really well, has good feel, has good shock dampening properties. I've sold a ton of these. This one's called the 10.0. And let me explain something about Dunlop to you. They go from a 2.0 to a 10.0. 2.0 meaning the least powerful, and a 10.0 meaning the most powerful. So this is the most powerful racket in the line. Clocks in at under 10 ounces, and hey, this is great for your arm and easily great for your game. All right, so the next racket, the Vocal 1. As I say, this is the one for you. So a version of this racket has been around for, I would say 15, 20 years now. The newest series of this is called V-Feel 1. Or it could be V-Sense. No, it used to be called V-Sense. I think this is the latest edition, V-Feel 1. So this racket really hasn't changed in those 15, 20 years. They have this unhinged throat. And that's basically for more power and more absorption. So when you attach this, right, more vibration actually comes through the sides down to your hand. But with it separated, this is almost like a lever. Even though it's not moving, it actually absorbs the shock. So for all you tennis elbow people, this is a great one for you. Now this is 9 ounces before strings, so it's about 9.5. Still super light. 115 square inches, just like this Dunlop. I sell a ton of these to that crowd. All right, so moving on. And the other characteristic is they're all wide, as you can see. All right, what does that give you? Stability and power. The wider it is, the more stable it is, the more power you're going to get. Okay, now we're clocking in at 27 to 29 here on these, so that's pretty thick. If you think about a blade, we're looking at 22 millimeters, or 21 millimeters. So these are significantly thicker. So the ultimate Triad 3, okay, by Wilson. There's been a version of this racket also for at least 15 years too. So the key with this is pads here, right here and here. When you put this on a flex machine that they do, when they do this deal, it comes in super soft. It only comes in super soft because of these pads. They connect them. This racket is connected by some pads here, which actually makes it bend on the machine. That gives you almost a false rating on how stiff this racket is. But the pads are what makes it comfortable and what makes it, it gives you that soft plush feeling that you don't quite get with these other ones, because it actually is dampening the ball feel coming into the strings. So that's why I call this the ultimate. This thing has survived over 15 years and keeps coming back for more. This is slightly smaller though. It's a 113, 9.2 ounces, so just a hair heavier than these, but it kind of has that hammer characteristic where it's a little head heavier and the weight is kind of at the top here. But that helps you, though. Being head heavier helps you, push the ball through a little more, right? As long, because your game now is in front of you. I mean, you're serving, and then you're not really taking a big wind up anymore. You're just kind of throwing the ball back with the racket and just putting it where you want it to put it. So that's what these rackets are for. Is just pretty much you're guiding the ball and letting the racket kind of knock it, letting the racket power it out there, power the ball out there. And all these are longer, okay? They're at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch longer. Again, more power, okay? Because that's what we think you need when you're a little older. I know I need more power right now. So, which means when I'm 65, I'm gonna need some of this power, right? I'm gonna need it to be lighter. And I definitely want it to be head heavier because that actually helps my stroke. All right, so I hope that helped you. If you see any of these rackets at your pro shop, definitely try them. You will love them because I've been selling versions of these for 15, 20 years and they are top sellers. All right, I hope that helped you. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.